I am just so glad that y'all came and visited us here at
Bravo! Bravo! Encore! You can count on me.
Enough! I can't put up with you anymore.
sure a lot of pretty flowers. Here at the Geneva State Forest, you just gotta jump for joy. There's just so much here for you to do, and the flowers are really, really beautiful. It's green. You have to be careful riding on the roads though, because they're half washed out. And it was okay with the ATV because we could go around them. But man, if we had my daddy's big ATV blazer thing there, we could not have got around a lot of those big holes. We'd have had to climb through them. And I'm a little guy, a little girly. I can't climb through that stuff. But look, stop by and come enjoy the Geneva State Forest. Okay? Hello. How are you today? I'm here at the boardwalk. I don't get to go to Geneva State Forest by myself because I'm just a little kid. And they don't have an ATV that fits me, so I have to stay home with the babysitter. But that's okay, because I'm really not into the flowers and stuff like that. I like the animals and stuff, and when they're out on the ATV, you don't see any animals anymore. So, my grandpa takes me over to the Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary, and I get to see all the animals I need to. And I mean, I get to be up close and personal with them, and they need help, and I just like to see them and hold them, and they're just great animals. So if you get a chance, go by the Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary, over there on County Road 445, and it's just outside of Level Plains, you know, and you really like it. It's really a great place. So hey, we'll see you there, okay? Okay, enjoy the video. Bye.
Enough! I can't put up with you anymore.
Good morning. This is a late-breaking news from Geneva State Forest. The flowers are beginning to really fill out. They're the late summer flowers, and they really they line the roads, and it's just beautiful over there. And you really need to get out there and check them out. A nice day where the sun's shining and the forest is really green, and the flowers just set it off perfectly. There are a lot of birds and the butterflies. There's tons and tons of butterflies if you like butterflies. And there's a lot to do at the Geneva State Forest. The water is rising, and hopefully it's not going to get too much higher. A couple of the creeks are impassable with ATVs and so forth. Well, you can get through them, but you're going to get wet. So that's why today I am in my my swimwear, and we hope that you'll join us. And just remember to be careful going through any water, and look for holes. There's a lot of holes over there from washouts, and just be careful. This has been a late-breaking news tip, and let's get back to the video. Thank you, and goodbye.
Just driving by this Gopher apple stand, and look, there's apples here. There's one. They're not ripe yet. I probably should just leave them alone, but I want the seeds. That's what I want. I've seen another which made me stop. And that one was gigantic. There it is. Two gopher apples. First of the season. lose them and they fall to the ground. These are the stands that are important to the gopher tortoises. They can't get up these hills, and it's really overgrown this year, but there's a number of these apples here on this plant right here, and there's one right there, as a matter of fact. And we're going to leave them on here. These are the ones that they can at least get to. There's two there, there's another one over there. There's two over there. These are the ones that they can get to. So we're going to leave them here and let them enjoy them. The ones that are up there where they can't get to, I don't mind taking. Because they can't get to them anyway. Back here
in the hood, it was good. It was really good. It's all we knew, stand around the street corners and drink some beer and just chill. And then we learned about the Geneva State Forest and ATVs. And our whole world, man, it just changed. No more being gangsters. We were going to be full-blooded country rednecks. Loving them ATVs and riding in the woods with the campfires and just having them little country girls and the dogs and just it was an eye-opening experience. I want to say thank you to all my bros. That street life that wasn't for me. I just like being a country boy, and I'm glad that I got to meet the guys and the folks at the Geneva State Forest. And if you're ever out that way, come give us a check, man, because it's a great place to be, and even a better place to raise your kids. So get your ATV or your horse or whatever and head out to the Geneva State Forest. It's cheap. It's $2 a day, and people over 59, it's only $1. Where can you go for that? So, I'm going to finish this beer and grab my ATV and head out there. So, if you're out there, we'll see you there. If not, watch the rest of the video and relax, and We'll see you next time here in the great outdoors at the Geneva State Forest.
My name is Mike, and I'm just
So glad to be back here in the Geneva State Forest. It's been a long time, and I kind of miss it. We used to come back here and ride ATVs and take pictures and make videos and stuff. This is one of the major crossings that we used to go through. We used to stop here and swim, and it's filled right up, boy. There's just a lot of water in there. But we do have a lot of pictures of flowers, and the roads are really great, and I hope that you've enjoyed the video and that you'll come back and see us the next time here in the great outdoors. It's hard to get here. I'm a South Florida boy, and every once in a while we do slip up to Alabama to see the grand folks, but it's tough trying to keep up with the schedules there in Florida and school and all that stuff. And well, we hope to see you here the next time in the great outdoors. And thanks for joining us here in the Geneva State Forest.